So we continue with Siman 65, and it's a little difficult subject, which is Ribbis, which is I just had a class finished 30 minutes ago. So also some things about Ribbis as well. It was not our topic; it was partnership with business, but very close to this. Okay, so continue. So halacha number 8. The sages also prohibited the borrower from giving the lender various non-financial benefits. Right, so as we said last time, we answered the question, but it was actually in this halacha. These are discussed in the sifim that follow. Okay, the lender must be careful not to give benefits not to derive benefit from the borrower, for example, by using his tools, without the borrower's knowledge, as long as the lender's money is in borrower's hands. This is restricted. This restriction applies even to something that the borrower would have done for the lender, even if he had not lent him money. Okay. For since he is deriving benefit without borrower's permission, it appears that the lender relies upon him, that because of his money that is in borrower's hands, he will forgive him and not to protest, in which case it would consider a Ribbis violation. But if he is a benefit from him with his knowledge, it is permitted. If it is something that he would have done for him, even if he would not lend him, as long as it is not something done in public. Okay, so let's do this from the beginning, and we're going to explain. So again, the topic is some non-monetary benefit, right? So tools. Why is he giving an example of tools? Something is not going to depreciate. I don't know, maybe hammer or something, or shovel. All right, you want to dig a ditch or something, right? I mean, nothing is going to happen to the shovel. Of course, we assume there are no stones, like normal use, no problem. Okay. So one more time, and I'm going to explain. The lender, so meaning the guy who lent the money, must be careful not to derive benefit from the borrower. Because in some sense this lender feels superior. This guy owes me money, so I can do with his tools whatever I want, with his merchandise, right? The lender must be careful not to derive benefit from the borrower, for example, by using his tools. So meaning that nothing is going to happen with his tools, or we live next to each other. Let's say we have porches, and he has chairs at his porch, right? And I have extra guests, and I want to take chairs from his porch, and he's not home, right? Of course, if he would be home, most likely he would not say no, but still, right? Without his knowledge, as long as the lender's money in a borrower's hands. So after. This benefit is not monetary benefit. Like after the fact, there is no problem. That's what we do between people, and here there is no financial benefit, I guess. Okay. So, but while the money is in borrower hands, so it's that's the problem. Okay, why? The restriction applies even to something that the borrower would have done for the lender, even if he had not lent him money, like this chair. So we are neighbors, right? So of course he said, yeah, come take these chairs anytime you want. If you have guests, if you have company, I have no problem with that. Even I'm not home, if I'm home, but inside of the house, you just come and take. Okay, so right, and then they ask for a loan, so you give him a loan. So now we cannot just go and take, right? For since he's deriving benefit without borrower's permission, I guess if he would say that no, maybe my example is not good. Maybe if he would say like I said, there is no problem because he would say whenever you need, you just come and take. But in let's say they have the relationship. Okay, I would come and he would permit to take his chairs from his porch, no problem. Okay. But now without his permission, so of course he would not mind. Yeah, that's a wrong attitude. Okay, borrows permission. It appears that the lender relies upon him that because of his money that is in borrower's hands, he will forgive him and not protest, in which case he would constitute a Ribbis violation. So meaning so usually this guy would ask permission to take his shares, but now because I lent him money, of course he would not mind. I mean, he's shaking from me, like I extended the credit for another 3 months because he could not pay on time. You understand? So we're not allowed to do that. If you usually ask him, so you go this time and ask him again as well. But if he's benefiting from him with his knowledge, it is permitted. So ask him, can I use this chair? Do you need these chairs on your porch? He said, no, please. Okay. If it is something that he would be done for him, even if he would not have lent him, right? Meaning that we neighbors, even before the loan, he was lending me chairs. So during the loan, after the loan, there is no problem. Okay. So meaning if it's not because of the loan. So before that, he did not say hello to me, and now he said, please use my chair. So that would be Ribbis. Right? As long as it is not something done in public. So what does it mean? Commentary, such as living in his courtyard or making use of his servants. So meaning this guy lend him money. I'm not sure why everybody needs to know that we lend somebody money. It's from York Deya 167. But let's say everybody knows. Let's say people know. So he cannot. I cannot rent from him because maybe he would give me big discount. For example, the rent is 1,000. I'm just making up, right? 1,000, and he gives me for 700. That's the problem. Okay. Any questions before we continue? Okay. So we continue then. Number 9. So far it's not so hard, but I think later on it would be a little harder. If the borrower was not accustomed to initiate greetings to the lender at any other time, the borrower is prohibited from initiating greeting to him now that the lender has extended him a loan. Okay, a second, let me just, sorry. Right. Is extending him a loan, sorry. And it is prohibited for the borrower to confer upon the lender an honor in a synagogue or in some other place if he is not accustomed to do so at different time. So 2 other types of mere words of Ribbis are prohibited. Words of Ribbis. As written in Dvarim 23:20, you shall not cause your brother to take interest of anything that he may take as interest. The word called davar, anything, right, can be translated to mean any word. Very interesting. Thus, even the words are forbidden, where the words are uttered because of the loan. So let me see how long is this halach. Oh no, it's very long. Okay, so let's split it in separate parts. Okay, so let's do this piece again, and we're going to explain. So now we're talking about greetings. As we said, like some people say, yeah, you're not allowed to say good morning to him. Like he owed you, he saved your life. I know your family, everything. He lent you 10,000, so you paid all of your debts, and now you can live breathe freely for at least some times, and then free interest and loan. And he said, okay, you can pay me in 1 year. I'm so appreciative to him. I want to praise him, right? And I'm not allowed to say good morning to him just because I was not greeting him before. Absolutely, 100%, 100%, right? Because he would derive some people, they do whatever they do only to get honor, right? People who they would donate things, not because they're generous, not because they care about the shul or other like other organizations. Something. They want their name to be known to everybody because of the honor, right? People would buy honor, absolutely, right? They don't need anything from you, but just respect. They HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Yasher Koach, you did this, you did that, absolutely. Okay, so again, if the borrower was not accustomed to initiate greeting, borrower, right? Initiate greetings to the lender at any time, the borrower is prohibited initiating greeting to him now that the lender has extended him loan. So meaning, I'm not sure if in this halacha or it's I'm not sure, but basically, our sages say that if you know it is like that, and now that you did not greet each other before, you're the lender, and now like if he meets you, he would need to greet you and start talking to you. Before that, he did not care about, or you did not talk. So now, if he goes on this side of the street, you know what you do? You cross the street, right? So you would not get an honor. You would not get the greetings because, as we said, the greeting would be the Ribbis. Okay. Continue. And it is prohibited for the borrower to confer. So it is um, uh, forbidden for the lender and for the borrower, right? So I mean, as we said, the Ribbis is prohibited on both sides. And it is prohibited for the borrower to confer upon the lender honor, right? So great in honor, wherever is it, in a synagogue or in some place. For example, purchase aliyah to the Torah for him. Sishach Yorediyah 166:1 from Maharshal. So what does it mean? In a place where there is aliyah for sale, right? They sell you can go yourself, or you can buy it for somebody else, bestow the honor of somebody else. That is, I mean, it's your business, right? So this guy, like in some sense, right, he gives the money to tzedakah. This lender, he's not getting any monetary like financial benefit, but respect, yeah, right. Pleasure for sure. Somebody, he's now going to be called to the Torah. Okay. Right? As if he was not accustomed to do this at different times. So very interesting. If he was accustomed to give this guy Leah to call him, that's one thing. And probably even what is it? Even the Gabbai. So Gabbai borrowed the money, right? And let's say forget about money. Like let's say they don't say alias, so he cannot start calling this guy more often than he used to call him, right? So if he used to call him once a month, so he must stick to that schedule. So he cannot call him like even semi monthly, right? Okay, continue. So two other types of mere words of Ribbis are prohibited, as it is written. So meaning the words of Ribbis, meaning the words of the praises, right? You shall not cause your brother to take interest of anything that he may be that he may take as interest. So interest is it could be money, it could be produce, it could be these words, right? As they translate words. So kol davar, anything can be translated any word. Commentary. Although this is the verse cited in Gemara Bava Mitzia 75b as a source of the prohibition, most authorities agree that this is not biblical derivation and the prohibition only rabbinic in origin. See Chachma Saddam 131:11. See also Helkach Binyamin, paragraph 160. Tziyum, paragraph 432. So meaning what? I mean, if it's rabbinical, I guess. So according to these authorities, so it could be some leniency in case of need. Okay, so what do we cook? I don't know. Maybe if it is some committee, this person, this borrower, part of the subcommittee, and they going to call on someone to give him some reward. I don't know, some praise. So it would be allowed, I guess, like after the fact. I mean, if there is no one else can do it, or he's been doing it for 20 years, so of course we're not going to relieve him from position just because he's a borrower. Okay, so in this case we can rely on this on opinion that is not biblical but rabbinic prohibition, meaning this Ribbis by words. Thus, even words are forbidden when the words are uttered because of the loan. So if the guy was praising him before, there is no problem. But if it's because of the loan, so it's try to control your feelings. Right, that this person saved your family, right? So it's not so simple, right? But if you remember, there is a halacha that's halacha like that. I think it may be a little easier. So 13. Therefore, the borrower may not praise, express gratitude, or bless the lender in his presence. Shulchan Aruch Harav, Sif 9. See also Igros Moshe Yerodaya, part 1, chapter 80. One who borrowed money toward the cost of the printing a sefer may not print a note containing the expression of thanks to the lender. He may, however, acknowledge the fact that HaShem rewards those who perform kindness with the money. By writing God blessing, I extend it to so and so graciously lend the funds for the publication of this volume. 1 second. He may. Okay. So the prohibition here, according to Shulchan Aruch Harav, right, to express the blessing to the lender in his presence. So I mean, in his deriving benefit, right? His deriving benefit meaning pleasure. Very interesting. One who borrows the money toward the cost of the printing. So he wants to publish the book, and basically for him to add one more page to the book, like in front with all of the praise, there is no problem, right? I mean, it does not cost much more, right? Cost of the printing may not print note containing expression thanks to the lender. Okay, so thanks to the lender, not okay. He may, however, acknowledge the fact that HaShem rewards those who perform kindness with their money. By writing God blessing, I extend it to so and so who gratefully lend funds for the publication of this volume. So this praise is like a very specific praise, right? For that person, right? For lending money. So I'm not sure how is it different from the previous. Not printing content expression thanks to the lender. So okay, so expression thanks to the lender not, but the blessing him there is no problem. So we can always bless. Very interesting. Okay. So continue. The lender. Okay. So now next section. The lender too is warned with regard of two words, lender, of Ribbis. For example, if he tells the borrower, inform me if so-and-so arrives from such and such place. Ooh. Although it is not troubling to the borrower to do more than mere say something, nevertheless, if the borrower was not accustomed to do such a favor for the lender previously, and the lender now relies on the fact that he granted the borrower a loan, to direct the borrowers to assist him, because the borrower is subservient to him. This is considered Ribbis. So he asked him to do a favor. That is not. It's not like a guy would need to invest any money, or any effort. Maybe he would have this information anyway, right? It's not like a big deal, but still, Right. So let's see. The lender too. So all of the first paragraph was about the borrower. The lender too is warned with regard to the words of Ribbis. So only words. For example, if he tells the borrower, inform me and so arrives in such and such place. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it's his relative and he would know anyway, right? So it's not like a borrower goes somewhere, like spend time or something. Although he's not troubling the borrower to do more than a mere say something. Okay, commentary. And the borrower can find out whether this person is arrived without expending any efforts. Exactly. Shita Mekubesitz to Baba Mitzia 75b. Okay, so it's like free for him. Right? All right. Nevertheless, if the borrower was not accustomed to such a favor from the lender previously, right? So they were not in these terms. So this lender is not asking him because he feels like a superior that this guy owes me, right? And now I don't want to go myself. I better send him, right? Right. So it would not be allowed. But if he was would ask him the same question before, same right? So for the same information, there is no problem. And the lender now relies on the fact that he granted the borrower the loan, so meaning he owes me, right? To direct the borrower to assist him. Okay, so it's very interesting. And unless you learn these halachas in details, I mean, it would not we would not derive it by logic. Okay, Torah is not logical. I mean, after you understand the logic of the Torah, yeah, it's very logical. It's very, very logical, but unless, but for secular people, I think it was like over their heads. I think, but I could be wrong. Because the borrower is right, because the borrower is subservient to him, this is considered Ribbis. Okay. So next piece, same halacha. Next piece. Now, if you will ask, but it is written in Mishle 22:7. A debtor is a servant to a creditor. The answer is that this rule applies only even when the claim of argument arose between them. And the lender says, let us travel to great Beis Din, a rabbinical court, right, to litigate there. While the borrower says to litigate here in the local Beis Din. In such a situation, the borrower must go and as the lender wishes, while the lender is not obligated to go to the great Beis Din in another place if the borrower wishes to go. Because it is stated, a debtor is a servant to the creditor. This verse has no bearing, however, upon the Ribbis prohibition. So, of course, people who did not know this explanation, or sages, they would take it out of the context and say, yeah, he's my slave. Didn't it say in Mishle 22:7, a debtor is a servant of the creditor? It says clearly. So we're not allowed to read these verses without, especially from Mishle, without commentary. So commentary says this verse appears to be teaching that it is incumbent on the borrower to perform certain services on behalf of the lender. Maybe not slaves literally, but at least as he says here in the commentary, to perform some services. The answer is that this rule applies only in the event that a claim of argument arose between them. So meaning they have some misunderstanding. You owe me, right? The guy said, no, I pay you back. This and that. I have witnesses. You don't have witnesses. So now if this lender wants to go to the Beis Din, right, Sanhedrin, or like great Beis Din, right? Maybe not to Sanhedrin, but great Beis Din, maybe like 23 judges. Okay, that's a great Beis Din, right? And these guys said, no, it's too low, too far. I don't want to go, so he must go. So that's the case. Well, the borrower says to litigate here in a local Beis Din, right? And the opposite is also true. If the borrower wants to go to the great Beis Din and the lender says, I'm not going to go to the great Beis Din, we're going to do it here. So this so debtor must agree. Okay. So that's the thing. Okay. So last sentence, debtor is a servant to the creditor. Right. This is the verse. No ban in Havama upon Ribbis, prohibition. So meaning debtor, meaning he's a servant, meaning servant that he's not going to tell somebody what to do, where to go to adjudicate the case. Okay. Any questions on what we said so far?
Rabbi?
Yes.
So what would happen in the case that the lender, but I mean, I call him lender just for the sake of the example, but say the person, instead of lending the money, he gives it away. Some people in need. I mean, this would be tzedakah instead of lending money, but yet the person feels entitled to do these things, like to ask for assistance and to ask for favors and so on and so forth. So would he be allowed to do these things, considering this in this case is not considered interests or Ribbis?
That's a very good question. So in some sense it's 1 second. It's not clearly forbidden because it's after the fact. So as we said in the previous halachas, so like after the guy paid off his loan and he wants to lend this lender tools, there is no problem, or do some favors for him, there is no problem, right? Some non monetary favors. Right, but it's a very good question. So I mean, I feel that something is wrong, and I think you feel as well. Something is wrong that is not allowed, but is it like a clearly forbidden? I don't think so. Right, but on one hand, on the other hand, the guy think, look, I want to get tzedakah next month as well, not only this month. So he would feel like obligated to do something for that person. Yeah. So again, I don't think it's Ribbis because there is no loan, and after like there is no loan because tzedakah mean in one way. This poor person accepted, he does not have to give back. Right. So that's the thing. Okay. Very good question.
Thank you very much, Rabbi. So in the case of the receiver, in this case, would he be allowed to initiate a greeting or to give him honor? Like
in case of tzedakah, or no?
Yes, in case of
okay, yeah. I think so. Yes. Mm-hmm. So he would get some honor. Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, Rabbi.
You're welcome. And like for example, somebody sponsored them something. They would put it on a board or something like, and they would announce that he did this and that. Who sponsored a meal today? Who sponsored books? New Sidurim. Right. So there is no problem. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi. There's actually a couple of questions on the.
Okay. Go ahead. Please go ahead.
Sorry. So, first one says, if the borrower treats the lender nicer, not because of the money, but for recognizing his good middos, meaning having mercy on the poor and being generous, is this allowed?
You see, if it's a very good question because as I also said, it's a natural feelings. It's not like he's trying to get any special favor. That's look, I was going down with my family, and now these guys save us. Like, of course, I appreciate him. Like, of course. But on one hand, on the other hand, it is Ribbis. So if he was not praising him before for these things, so he's not allowed now. For example, if it's non-philanthropist, right? And you know that he was lending money to other and he saved many people before. right? From poverty or something, right? For foreclosure, for I don't know, for all of these bad things. And now he help us. Yes, we would be allowed to say, but again, it's like it's on a borderline. Why? Because I would not praise him for every person that he knew. In his face, it's forbidden. Okay, that's okay. That's out of the question. In his face, it's forbidden. But even like not in his face. So I was not praising him every time that he did a good thing. Right? Only maybe one time and two time. And now why am I praising? Because he helped me. That's the problem. Right? So that's would be the Ribbis. So it's proper. I would say it's proper, like to hold back, right? All these good feelings. So after the duration of the loan, so you can express your gratitude, but not during. It's a problem. Okay. So after the loan, it's like you like let's say person he's not poor, he got a job, everybody's working, so they basically do not need another loan. So he's basically that. That's it, right? So in this case, if you express gratitude, it's like no string attached, right? It's not like I'm expecting second loan, even bigger. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
So next question says, from the law, is expressing gratitude or praise to the lender behind his back count as avat lashon hara?
It's in some sense yes. You see, we didn't get to that in the book of Chafetz Chaim. That's exactly that's what it says there. So you praise this person behind his back. You know what he did for me. He gave me $10,000. This and that. It saved my life, my family. This and that. And the guy said, he gave you $10,000? Really? I asked him 2 days before you for $20. He said he does not have because the business is not good. This oh, very interesting. The next day he gave you the $10,000 just like that. And you know what is it? It's like it's not Lashon Hara. It's actually Hilus. That's what we started today. So meaning that somebody is going to hate another person. Maybe he's a bum, he's a drug addict, and like he pretends that nobody knows. Okay, so but the lender knew, and he did not want to give him even $20 because he knew like you give him $20, he's going to buy drugs right now or alcohol. But this guy who is struggling, so for him, I want to give 10,000, right? Even if it's last money, that's my last saving because I still have a job, but this guy is struggling. You understand? So my parnosa is okay, but he does not have any. So right. So but to that clown, even $2 I don't want to give. You understand? So that's a different situation, and another situation. Right. So, he gave you $10,000. Very interesting. You know what? I always I'm looking for somebody who would lend me. Now I know who has a great heart. I have to go there, and all the clowns start coming. Not necessarily clowns, but people who in need, and some clowns, of course, they're also are going to come just in case they can get free money and stuff like that. Right, so it's big burden. So for this guy, it's like you curse him. Understand? With your praise. So you have to be very very careful with that. Not to disclose. You got the money, Baruch HaShem. So don't keep quiet because maybe that person wanted to give only to you, and other people are coming with. Understand? Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
That's very good questions. Yeah, thank you. Go ahead.
So there's a question that says, if one is not accustomed to borrowing and does not want to borrow or accept charity, are there conditions that would require them to borrow or accept charity?
Okay, so if somebody it's normal not to be accustomed. So maybe if you're not accustomed, you maybe you have good parnasa, but some people, it's actually we said in when we discuss here the laws of the charity. So if, praise the person who can push the way, right? Push the way meaning the day when he's going to go and borrow, well, not the borrow, but take tzedakah, right? Meaning right, free gift. Okay, he said, you know what? I don't have money, but I think for today I'm good. For today I'm good. Right? And tomorrow, if I did not get any money from my, I don't know, unemployment insurance, I don't know, from someone, so then I'm going to ask tzedakah. And then guess what? Some other money came and he pushed away. And then guess he got a job, got inheritance. His grandmother's sister died or something like that, and he got this, and he's the only heir. You understand? And it says there that Hashem is going to bless the person who pushes away as much as possible, and this person is not going to leave this world until he is going to be in position of giving. He's going to give now, right? Because he did not accept the charity. On one hand, on another hand, you can be hero, big or huge hero only for yourself. So your wife or your husband or somebody or your children should not suffer because you want to be a hero. You understand? If you need the food, so you must go and beg for food, beg for money for your family. That's obligation, right? Right. So as we always say, do experiments on yourselves, not on your children, not on your family, right? So don't be tzaddik in somebody else's expense, right? So that's the borderline. So if you can survive, right, you're alone or your wife is with you on the same page, there is no problem. But if she's suffering, not allowed, right? Have to take tzedakah. So in case of the need. So if somebody, so the second part of the question, when you don't have food, right? When you don't have food, and when you don't have food, and when you dire straits, they're going to kick you out of your apartment, right? They say, I give you 3 days, or you out of this apartment on the street. So of course, I mean, if it's possible not to get to this situation, maybe if you have 1 month and you don't have any funds, yeah. So just start, you're allowed to take tzedakah. There's no problem. Okay, so that's the thing. Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you, Rabbi.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so let's continue. So continue. So halacha number 10. So as we see, so but I just want to tell you guys, the more you learn halacha, you start thinking like that. And when you learn new material, like even though it's material completely new, but since the logic, the driving logic is the same, you would be able to figure some things even before you read it. Okay, so continue. So it's like some kind of introduction. When one person hires another person to perform service, or when one patronizes another person's business and does not pay him any more than what he would have paid a different worker or a business owner, he has not actually given up anything tangible by patronizing this person over another. Nevertheless, he does receive the recipient's gratitude for having received the business. The Gemara in Kiddushin 58 A and B discusses whether the value of exercising one's option to patronize one's person over another, and thus receiving the person's gratitude for having received the business, known as Tova Chana, benefit of the gratitude, is considered financial value. This sif will address the halachos Tovas Chana as it pertains to the Ribbis prohibition. So let's read the first everything, and then we're going to go back. even in the case of benefit of gratitude, double quotes, which is not considered to have been true financial value, the lender is forbidden to benefit from the borrower. Lender from the borrower. For example, if the lender is a workman, and on other occasions, the borrower is not accustomed to provide him with work. Only now, since the workman has lent him money, the borrower wishes to provide him work, it is prohibited. So, okay, so let's do from the beginning, then we see the commentary as well. So sometimes these workers, they have cash. You understand? So they have cash, and supposed to be rich people, they're very poor. Example, somebody like, I don't know, supposedly somebody has a house or has apartment paid off, let's say, right? Yeah, he has apartment, but can he eat from this apartment? Absolutely not. Right? He still has to pay utilities, stuff like that. But other guy who is working, who does not have anything, he's living in a rented apartment. He has money, he has cash, right? So if this guy who has some property, he would go to this guy who's a regular worker to borrow money from him. So it's not a far-fetched case. It's like very, very practical. Okay. So let's do this introduction again, and we're going to explain. When one person hires another person to perform the service for him, or one, right? So meaning, so again, this worker, like some, and I know some people. They, none. I don't know now, but I used to know that people have like a lot of cash. They were doing some construction for cash, right? Very like. They would not spend on entertainment. So non-Jews. I'm talking non-Jews. So the guy would, watch TV. He was alone, no vacations, no nothing, right? Sometimes he would go to visit his mother in another place, but that's it. He had a lot of money, right? No, was not married. Very interesting. A lot of cash. So he was, right? Very interesting. And he was living as a roommate because he said, I don't need the big apartment. So a lot of money, Baruch HaShem. So when one person hires another person, so basically the guy who is a lender, so the borrower can hire a lender to do work, right? Very interesting. When one person hires another to perform work service, or one patronizes another person's business, or this borrower has a business, right, and a lender comes to him, right, to buy, okay, and does not pay him or any other more than he would pay for a different worker or business owner. So meaning this borrower comes to lender and he pays exactly the same money. This borrower hires this construction worker, who lent them money, right? To do fixing of his house. Let's say he wants to rent. He has a unit to rent out, right? So he wants this construction worker to fix. And how did he get money? He borrowed from this construction worker because he has all of this cash, right? It's very interesting. So and this guy who comes to the store does not pay extra. The guy who hires this construction worker from whom he borrowed does not pay extra. So meaning if he would hire somebody else, it would be exactly the same salary. If he would come to different, this guy comes to buy tomatoes, or that guy, somebody comes to buy tomatoes, exactly the same price. So it's like he's benefiting or losing anything, right? He has not actually given up anything tangible by patronizing this person's over another. So it's not like nobody gains anything, nobody loses anything. So that's it. Exactly the same price, exactly the same salary, like from both sides, nobody losing, nobody gaining. Business as usual. Nevertheless, he does not receive a participant. Nevertheless, he does receive the recipient's gratitude for having received the business, right? So this guy who is construction worker, okay, he had money on the side, but he did not have next job, right? So we hired him. Maybe we feel bad, right? We hired him to paint our house. So now he's very happy. So this lender, he's a lender, still a lender. So he expresses gratitude that we hired him, right? So even though like he would not, if we hire somebody else, we would not pay less or more. Exactly the same thing. Very interesting. The Gemara discusses whether the value of expressing one's option, exercising one's option, to patronize one person over another. So I could have hired somebody else, but since this guy, he needs a job and I owe him money and I'm going to pay exactly the same amount of money, I hired him. So in some sense, I gave him this job, right, as a favor because he lent me money. You understand? That's very, very deep thing, very deep. Okay, 1 second. But as other person of another, and thus receiving the person's gratitude for having received the business, right? Knows as tava hana, right? Benefit of gratitude is considered financial value. So they discuss whether or not it is considered financial value. So why is it discussion in the first place? Because the lender gets the money, right? So it is in some case, in some sense, it is financial, but for me, it does not matter who to pay. This guy is going to paint my house for this amount, and that guy is going to paint my house for this amount. So what is the difference for me? There is no difference, but still I hire him. Why? Because he's a lender. Very interesting. The Silaf will address the halachas of Tavas Hana as it is pertains to the Ribbis. It's very interesting. Okay, so and it says, and we see the commentary as well. Even in the case of benefit of gratitude, that double quote, right? So in a gratitude, so I start shopping in his store. You understand? It's very interesting. Which is not considered to have a true financial value, so it's just gratitude. The lender is, so nobody is benefiting, really, right? The lender is forbidden to benefit from the borrower. The lender is not, is forbidden to benefit from the borrower. For example, if the lender is a worksman, so we said this construction worker, and on the other occasion, the borrower is not accustomed to provide him with work. So, I mean, that specific case. So, if I need to have my my house painted, so and I never hired him, right? Only now, since this workman is lent him money, the borrower wishes to provide him work. It is prohibited. So it's very interesting. So it's very straightforward. If I never hired him. Of course, it could be exceptions. So if all of these people who I hired before are very dissatisfied with them, and now with this guy I have some relationships, right? So maybe he's going to do a better job. That's a different story. But if I had better painters, or I mean good painters for the same money, so why should I risk to hire this person? The only reason is why, because I have gratitude. Right, and then I want to give him business, and this would be forbidden. Commentary. So of course it's not typical Ribbis. Of course its case is much deeper. So one more time, not like commentary. Unlike the typical case of Ribbis, in this case, since according to this opinion, the borrower's rights toward this work to whomever he wishes is not considered monetary benefit, and the borrower is paying to him to no more than he would pay to anyone else. He is not giving anything extra to the lender, and no biblical prohibition of the Ribbis has been transgressed. Nevertheless, since the lender is benefited from having received work that would not have been otherwise received, it is prohibited. According to another opinion, Tavas Hana is considered as an intrinsic monetary value. According to that view, if the lender's if one lends money with the stipulation that when he needs the worker, he will award him job to the lender, that would be considered Ribbis Kitzur and prohibited on a biblical level. Motion, etc. A lender may also not stipulate that the borrower refer customers to his business. According to Igros Moshe, since there is a market value to the service of acting as a broker to attract customers, stipulation that the borrower performs this service constitutes Ribbis Kitzur and is in fact biblically prohibited. So let's read this commentary again, and we're going to explain. I mean, without this commentary, it's like it's not so simple. I mean, the commentary is like from more modern examples. So one more time. Unlike typical case of Ribbis, in this case, so again, like this lender, the one who gave us money, he's a construction worker. So if I never hired him before, for example, if I have I knew about him, but I prefer to hire somebody else. So now I cannot give him job, right? And he needs job. He needs, right? But I cannot give him because the only reason I give him now because he lent me money. That's very simple. Okay, so one more time. Unlike the typical case of Ribbis, in this case, since, according to this opinion, so there are two opinions, the borrower's right to award his work to whoever he wishes is not considered monetary benefit, and the borrower is paying him no more than he would pay to anyone else. So there is no financial benefit for the borrower. Because he would pay this amount anyway, right? So I mean, he's not losing, he's not gaining. To pay in this house, it costs, I don't know, $500. He's going to pay $500. Okay. Anyway, right? So anyone else? He has not given anything extra to the lender, and no biblical prohibition of Ribbis has been transgressed. So biblically, I would pay this $500 to this guy, to that guy, or to the lender. It doesn't matter. So biblically, there is no problem because I do not give him anything extra that I would not have given to somebody else. That's biblical. That's clear, right? If not clear, you'll ask later, right? Biblical prohibition. Nevertheless, since the lender is benefited, right, who gives money, this construction worker, is benefited from having received work that would not have been otherwise received, right, is prohibited. So, but okay, from our case, we did not do anything forbidden, but we're not allowed to, because the only reason we gave him this job because he lent us money. Okay, so one more time. Nevertheless, since the lender is benefited from the having received work, he would not have otherwise received, it is prohibited. So basically, if we hired him before and maybe we stop and now we want to go back, it's a little questionable. But if I never hired him and now he wants to be hired, so that's the different story. Okay, so continue. According to another opinion, Tovas Hana is considered to be intrinsic monetary value. Okay, so the second opinion said no, it's actually like the guy's getting a job. It's like a contract, right? According to that view, if one lends the money with stipulation that when he needs a worker, he will be awarded the job to the lender. So I mean, okay, I lend you this money, but if you need to ever to pay in this house, let's say he lent him money to whatever was necessary to buy the house, right? So now he said, if you ever need to do something with the house, hire me, right? That was stipulated. That would consider a Ribbis Kitzur and prohibited on a biblical level. So meaning that guy gets like a financial benefit. Rama Yorekdaya 160:23. Also, Bir Halacha, chapter 55, Igros Moshe, Yorekdaya, volume 3, Hilchas Ribbis 160:18. Continue. A lender may not also stipulate that the borrower refers customer to his business. So here it's like there's no relationship whatsoever. It's not like a borrower hires the lender, right? But this guy, lender, said, if you have customer, please send it to me. You understand? So meaning the only reason this borrower would be sending customer because he feels obligated. He feels in debt. According to Igros Maishen, the same place, since there is a market value of the service of acting as a broker, so brokers, some of them make a good money, right? So like I don't know, 10%, 15%, I don't know, whatever they make, right? Commissions. Broker to attract customers stipulates that the borrower performs the service. This service constitute Ribbis Kitzur, and in fact biblically prohibited because this if I would hire somebody, right, to do the advertisement, right, to get the phone calls, to get this, to get that, in order for me to get customers, 100%, 100%. It is and this job costs money, right? So that's what the 100% is what is it? 100% is Ribbis. So, for example, I needed somebody professional, plumber or somebody, not tileman. So, and then I found a company. It's very interesting. It's some, I think, on the internet company that I sometimes buy like things for a house. Right, so and they say we also provide services, so very interesting. I mean, they're a LevLeib company, so they actually have a side business. I mean, not side, like a different business that they provide referrals. So they have a list of contractors, and then you call them, you call the company, they pick up the phone, lady says, what do you need, this and that, ask you a million questions, write down, type in, and then she said somebody is going to call you. So and then she sends this announcement to all of these contractors who like checked in that they're available. Very interesting. So of course, I mean, there is I don't know how many people like this lady or guys that take all of the information, then find you. Of course, they make money. Of course, nobody's doing it for free. You understand? So to be a broker costs money. It's it's the service that's worth some money. So when this guy says, "Send me free referrals," he's of course it's something that's tangible, something that costs money, right? That's why it's prohibited biblically. Okay, so we can stop here. Any questions on what we said? Yes, go ahead, please.
So on this issue of Tovas Hana, I've seen like similar situations, but where money, like lending money or borrowing money, is not involved, but rather situations where someone provides another person a job because they did them a favor, like in return. Yeah. Even when the person is not the most qualified, this happens a lot here, especially.
No, okay. I mean, okay. So you go to extreme example. Let's we say we take simple. They qualify. All of them can paint my house. We're not talking. That's for sure. What we said, that's for sure. It's Ribbis for sure. So, but not so obvious example would be they all qualify, all of them, right? But the only reason I give him job, because I know that he's looking for a job for a contract, and he can paint the house, and that the guy that paint the house, there is no special skills or something, right? So what do you say? It's 100% Ribbis, but what he says, it's not so obvious, right? So same amount of money, it's no kickbacks, nothing, right? Straightforward. Same right, same quality, same money, not allowed. Okay, go ahead.
You're welcome. I was just wondering if in terms of Hashkafa, would it be okay to hire someone because they did us a favor in the past.
No, in the past there is no problem whatsoever. We're talking about now when they currently in these relationships, lender and borrower.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.